Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to integrate Google Sheets and a list of contacts to call them with your AI assistant. So, as a prerequisite for this guide, you should have followed the guide for creating a voice agent in our documentation, how to set up your voice agent, and maybe verifying your phone number in that. So, I already have my agent here. This is my assistant who will be in charge of scheduling maybe meetings with some clients. As you can see in my instruction, I've already set up some variables as well. And now I want to call a list of contacts with this agent. So I'm going to show you how this can be done. So to, in order to do these automations, we're going to use another product of Dapta called the Flow Studio. Everything that we have done until now has been done in voice agents. Now we're going to use Flow Studio. So the first step is creating a new flow for automating my calls. So call automation. Another prerequisite for this guide is you should have a Google Sheets in your Google account with the list of contacts that you want to call with this AI agent. So as you can see, I have my first flow. I created it from zero, call automation. The only thing that it has is a trigger, which is the beginning of my flow. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to bring the rows from Google Sheets. You could, for example, search here for Sheets. We want to get rows from Google Sheets. But I need a credential. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to save my flow and I'm going to add a credential. I'm going to use Google Sign In, and then I'm going to access my account. So Dapta has access to the Google Sheets and edit the Google Sheets and bring information for the automation. So now I have added a new account. And as you can see, this account is selected automatically as soon as I add it to my account. The operation that I want to do is get rows, bring the information, and now I'm gonna select the document. As you can see, the name is Demo Shade English, and here it is. I select the document. Then after selecting the document, I pick the sheet. And finally, if you want to filter information of your Google Sheet, feel free to do it here. And now I'm going to test my flow just to see if I can bring all of my contacts to Dapta. As you can see, here is the action of get rows. And in the values, I can check that this is bringing my contacts. In my case, I only have one contact, so it's bringing one contact. But if I added multiple contacts in my Google Sheets, it's going to bring all of them. So now that I have it here, I want to call all of these contacts that I have in my Google Sheets. So we're going to use an action called loop list that will iterate over the list and call all of these contacts. So here is the loop. Now I'm gonna use the Dapta phone call action. And here, if you have already verified your number, you can use your own numbers. You can just write them down here directly. We have a demo number for doing the calls with Dapta. And then I need to pick which is the number that I'm gonna call. So to select the number, I need to specify which is the list of items that I'm gonna iterate. So you can see here in get rows, and as you can see in get rows.values, here is my list of items, and inside of each value is the number. So I can iterate get rows.values, and then after selecting the values, now I'm gonna use the number of the value. So here I can use my item, and here in the Google Sheets, the number is here in my phone column. So I can use item.phone. So make sure that this is picked directly. Loop list.item.phone. I need to use, I got to prepend a plus. So here it is, plus number. Make sure that if you already have the plus in your Google Sheets, you don't have to include it. I don't have it, so I'm going to include it here, but make sure that the number includes the plus. Then I'm going to pick the agent. As I was showing you before, I have Daniel's assistant, and I want to send some variables because if you don't have variables in your instructions, you don't have to include them. In my assistant, I have variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include the variables here. So I want to include the contact name. Why? Because if I show you the details of my assistant, you can see that in the instructions, I'm using contact name, contact company, and that's it. I need the name and the company. So here I'm going to use the contact name, the same name that I'm using here. I'm going to use in my variable input. And where do I get the name from? You can see the name in my column is name. So here item dot name. There we go. And now I'm going to include the contact company. So contact company, which is the same name that I'm using here. Contact company. Oh, I'm using the email as well. So contact company. And the company is in the company column. So I'm going to use item dot company. So remember, the value comes from the Google Sheets from each row. The key is the name of the variable that we're using. So finally, I'm going to use contact email, which is the item loop list dot item loop list dot email. There you go. So what have we done until now? We have connected Google Sheets, added the credential, pick the document, pick the sheet, specify the list of items from my Google Sheet, and then added the data phone call action to use variables from my Google Sheet and the number to call them. Now I'm gonna save my flow, and now I'm gonna run it down to see if I receive my test phone call. There you go. So here is the phone call. I receive it. Hello? Hi. Yes, I can hear you. I'm Danny. Danny Ordóñez is virtual assistant at Dapta. I see that you recently filled out a form expressing interest in Dapta services. Would you like to schedule a meeting with our CTO? Yeah, thank you. So as you can see, now I have iterated over the list of items that I have in my sheet. I called my own number. So after making sure that the integration is right, you can include all of your contacts in the list and call them. That's it. If you have any questions, feel free to write to support or let us know if you want to see any additional guide.